Come correct or don't come at all.
This is the Hartzog Hustle Podcast.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And we're talking about the hustle, strategy, and mindset you need to win in the areas of your finance, your purpose, and your future.
Know what I'm saying?
If you have heart and you want to learn how to activate the power of your hustle, then this is the podcast for you, baby. For you, baby.
Congratulations.
And now, your hosts, Anthony and Jhanilka Hartzog.
This is how it should be done.
Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Anthony Hartzog, and welcome to the Hartzog Hustle Podcast. I'm joined here by my beautiful wife, Jhanilka Hartzog.
Nice to meet everyone.
And we'll be talking about everything as it relates to the everyday hustle, whether it be business, finances, relationship, and just life. How you feeling?
I feel great. How are you feeling? This has been a long time coming. He has been asking to do this podcast for a year and a half. I couldn't even tell you how
It's
how
been
long.
on our to-do list since 2019, maybe. 2020, early 2020.
I don't know, but here we are. We made it, and we are going to jump right in. First, we're going to introduce ourselves, who we are, how we know each other, where we come from.
And why the heck are we doing a podcast?
We got a lot to say.
Why you guys should be listening to us have a conversation.
So let's take it back from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, start there.
Yes, we are from Brooklyn, New York, now living in Dallas, Texas for the past 5.5 years. But we met each other in the projects. My mother and I lived on the 6th floor. He lived on the 4th floor.
Yep, with my two younger brothers.
And we met, I think, when I was leaving junior high school, going into high school.
That
So
was-
whatever age that is.
How many years ago was that?
Maybe 20 years ago. At this point, let's say about 20 years ago is when we met and dated when we were in high school.
Yep.
Separated because he's older, obviously.
What you mean? They could tell that I'm older than you by my looks?
Separated when he went to college and then got back together once I got out of college.
Yeah, and then from there, when I graduated from University of Albany, go Great Danes, upstate New York. And when I came back down from college, what happened?
Before you not came back down from college, what happened then?
No, when I was living in college, and then I came back down when I got my job.
You were out of college
at that point. That was a long time ago.
We were dating. You skipping the whole thing. We were dating while you. What's happening here?
Yes, we were dating while I was still in
Well,
university.
you were in Albany, but you weren't in college. You were just still living
I was
in Albany.
Post grad.
Yes, exactly. I was in grad school. Maybe that's what you're confusing.
That's what it was.
I was in grad school. He was post grad in Albany, and we were dating then. I don't remember when you moved back to New York, though. But
Moved back to New York in 2020. That's when I started at
2020, really?
No, 2012. Excuse me. I'm nervous, guys. We moved back down. 2012, I believe, because I've been in my company for 9 years. So 2012.
Yes. So then we got engaged 2014. Got married 2016. Got engaged 2014 in Panama. That's where my family is from. During a family reunion. And we got married 2016, May 2016, and then moved to Dallas June 2016. So
we've been in Dallas 5 years now, and we got a beautiful dog. His name is Blue.
Yes, and by the time you guys listen to this, we have a baby on the way, and that is happening. That is launching or coming your way.
We got to drop that baby like a mixtape.
And March 1st, 2022.
And that's super exciting because while we're recording this, no one knows outside the social media world.
Yeah, just our immediate family.
Our friends and family know. So by the time this releases, we'll just have launched it. You got a whole baby launch strategy that you
don't have my business.
We're gonna drop this baby like a Beyonce album, like.
Yeah, so that is what's happening. That's who we are. To continue to say more about ourselves, we both still work 9 to 5s. I am a mental health therapist, so I'm licensed in New York and in Texas. So counseling, therapy.
Yeah, so while you're going through this story, they'll start to realize why the name of the podcast is Hartzog Hustle.
Oh yeah. So I have 2 jobs. as a therapist.
2 9-to-5 jobs, yep.
2 9-to-5s as a therapist. And you are
I'm a director at an IT firm. I've been there for 9 years. Also, by the time this releases, I won't be there.
May or may not be there.
So we are dropping a lot of
there's a lot happening right now in our lives. And we're starting a podcast in the middle of that. So I don't know how that works. But hey, we're here. We're showing up. So
this is absolutely nuts. So
yes.
I may potentially be going for my 9-to-5 by the time this airs. Mm-hmm. But then also, I've been there for 9 years as a director, and I was started as the youngest director at my company and worked my way up and got to the point where I realized that we got so much going on outside of the jobs that we need to explore the opportunities and kind of dive in fully. Yes. And it took you a lot to buy into that.
Hell yeah. We both have pretty high income jobs where we know that we do well for ourselves. So for him to remove that little piece of income is a big deal to kind of wrap our heads around. But it became, for a while it's been this way, I would say, that we know that our businesses could be, we haven't spoke on that yet, but our businesses could be way bigger, way further along if we give our all. So one of us will be giving the full all.
Yeah, I'm gonna be grinding.
Right.
So yeah, I've been at my job for 9 years, and I'll be leaving. And the goal is to, like you said, dive into everything that we're doing outside of our 9-to-5s, because the goal was to eventually build our side business enough so that we could replace our income, which we've done tenfold.
Yeah, we've replaced our income for the past probably 2 years. So one would say, well, why stay? Just comfortability. Neither of us hate our jobs. We have, he's a director, I'm a manager. Like I said, good income, pretty flexible. I've always worked from home since moving down from New York to Dallas. So it's been 5.5 years of me working from home. So there's so many things that just keep us there. But and the security of a check, obviously. I mean, your company can fire you anytime, but the hope is that they're not if you're doing well. And you made it past, well, we're still in a pandemic, but we kind of made it past that. So you think like, okay, things are going to look up from here. And that's really why we've stayed.
So we have your 2 9-to-5s, my 9-to-5.
And then we have businesses. So to run through the businesses that we have, you go with one first. We'll go back and forth. We have about 5 to 6 businesses.
So we'll start with the thing that kind of got us here. The thing that kind of helped us pay off our debt. Our cleaning business. Yeah. So we have a Dallas-based cleaning business. We've been in business for 4 years now, and it's been growing. And that was the first business we started together. And the goal with that business was to help us replace our 9-to-5 income. But it's done so much other things for us. It's helped us to pay off debt. It helped us to start other businesses. Yeah. And we'll talk about that in a second. But what else would you go with after that?
So I don't know. It's not going to be chronological order. It's just the businesses that we have. So that's one. We have a car rental business that, right now we only have one car, but the goal is to expand on that as well. That would be the second one. And basically we rent out our car for people to utilize it, and we live off of one car, which is enough. Like I said, I work from home, so.
And then we also, outside the car rental, we also have a property. We have an investment property out here in Dallas, Texas.
That's number 3.
That was a whole thing in itself, getting Jhanilka to buy into getting that investment property, because coming from Brooklyn, New York, we weren't exposed to a lot of things that we're exposed to now. Yep. So having a rental property was I never thought I'd own property.
Yeah, but you'll hear more about my thought process down the line. Then we have a virtual assistant business that we bought this year, 2021. And they only do virtual assistants really for cleaning businesses. So that's our 4th business. Our 5th business would be the Hartrimony, which maybe that's where you heard us from or started following us along our journey from, which started as just a hashtag for our wedding, and it has become a brand on Instagram, and it is a business that we put money into and things like that.
Yeah, and that's a play on our last name as well as matrimony. So Hartzog is Hartrimony. It's pretty dope. I made it up. I did.
You had to plug that in. I made it.
I made it up. I'm pretty creative when it comes down to it.
Yes. And then the sixth business would be this. Listen, I'm counting this as a business, okay? You start somewhere, you're going to continue. And so this would be our sixth business, this podcast. And the hope is that this grows just like any of our other businesses, and we continue to go from there.
Yeah, we don't start things and just to do them. We start them and the goal is to at least do it till it gets to a point where it either creates income or it starts to help people. So our goal is to tell our story, and that's pretty much our goal since we started our page, was just tell our story and to reach more people. So we figured the next best way to reach people, especially in this digital age, people listening to podcasts, was to put our story on tap, as what some of the creatives say.
Specifically, people like Anthony, because I don't listen to podcasts that regularly.
I listen to a lot of podcasts.
He listens to a lot of podcasts,
Yeah.
but to be honest, we did think it through. Like with Instagram, that's primarily where we're at, but we don't own Instagram, obviously. So if push came to shove, something happened, somebody hacked into our page, we would lose all the people that we've networked with and everyone that we know on there. So this is a evergreen thing that can remain. As you know, Instagram, once the picture or video is gone, that's it. It lasts maybe 24 hours or less.
Yeah. And that's actually what happened recently. Instagram went down, and a lot of people were scrambling to figure out, all right, how do I still get my message out there?
Right.
And we have different mediums and methods to still. We still have a great email list,
A text list.
We have a text list. We have courses. We have a bunch of things where people can still reach people. But we said we really wanted to reach the masses. How do we go about doing that?
Right. So that's an overview of who we are, how we met each other, what we're doing now. So in the midst of what's happening right at this moment, is a baby on the way, podcast being launched, one of us letting go of our jobs, and we are looking for a house.
Yeah. Major games.
I don't even know what is what. I just have to laugh at that.
It's all over the place right now, and people always ask us right now, especially right now, like, how do you guys deal with all of that stuff? And it's like we're dealing with it.
Yeah, I don't have a straightforward answer for that. I think we deal with it because we have to. Like, there's no other option. Like, I can't just not show up in certain aspects, right?
Yeah.
It has to get done. So that's how we deal with it. But then, we also this year have been getting into kind of delegating to other people to assist us with things, right? We're planning for a baby shower in Brooklyn, and so we have somebody helping with that. So things like that we've delegated, but there's still decisions that we have to make.
Especially we read a book, Who Not How, and that was one of the biggest things they talked about was finding your who to help you get to that resolution that you want. Mm-hmm. So when you were talking about planning the baby shower, the first thing I was like don't do it. You shouldn't be trying to plan that out. You need to be finding someone that you could delegate the responsibilities to, and you ended up doing that with your mom and somebody else,
Yeah, so that's working out. And then a house, of course, you have like a realtor that can assist with that.
You can't delegate. You can't delegate a house.
Yeah, we still got to show up for that. Same thing with the podcast. We still gotta show up. We can't really delegate that. We need to show up and be here.
But then one of our concerns with starting the podcast was like all the consistencies, but then also all the behind the scenes stuff, the editing, the recording, and
posting
and the goal with this was just to find out who could help us get there the fastest. So
yeah,
we're in a recording studio right now.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to bring the equipment. We just show up, record, and that was the biggest thing that you said you wanted was just to show up, record, provide value.
What did you call me? You're the talent. I just show up.
The talent. You are definitely talented.
I just show up and then I'm out. I do what I need to do and I'm out, which is fine. If that works for us, it works for us. Over time, I think we will expand. We get our own camera, things like that. But for now, this is more than enough.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I speak about all the time is just being able to just get it out there. It doesn't have to be perfect when we first started. It doesn't have to be perfect, a couple months down the line. But as long as you get it out there and figure it out. If you look at some of our early posts on Instagram, they were just us
The camera's like down here. We're looking down, and I'm like, this is like who? Why did anybody say, hey, you should probably put the camera to like eye level?
Yeah, we're looking down at the
counter. It was the counter. That's what we had. I mean, but no one. But you got to start somewhere. That's what we always say. You got to start somewhere. And that is the hope of the podcast, for it to grow and start somewhere, connect with people. Because we're always just talking on IG Live, and we're like, we can put some of this information into a podcast, and like more people can be connected to it.
We spoke a lot about Instagram, but people they may not know where to find us at.
What Instagram is, or
no, I would hope they know what Instagram is. But
maybe some people, everybody's
how
on
to find us. So our Instagram is the Hartrimony, so HARTRIMONY. Just in case they want to go look at us.
Look at us more.
And go look at those first videos.
So you can laugh?
They were bad.
I'm going to bring the good content here, though. We'll show up. It's different. But, okay, so that's who we are. Let's see. Is there anything else you want to say on, like, who we are, where we came from?
I was going to say, so what's next for the Hartzogs? What's next for the Hartzog Hustle? So what is this podcast going to be about overall?
Okay.
And why should people continue to tune in? We just told them all about us. They know, all right, these guys got a lot going on. They seem like they know what they're talking about. We've been entrepreneurs for 4 years now.
And that's even a word that is, I guess, not hard to vocalize, but because we still have 9-to-5s or never really see ourselves as entrepreneurs. But then when we talk to people, they're like, oh, no, you're serial entrepreneurs, though. Yeah. Like, you do a lot of things, even with having the 9-to-5. So
they call it 9-to-5preneurs or something like that.
I've never heard that before.
It's a thing.
Because you be on another side of Twitter. That's why, because I've never heard that before.
I am on another side of Twitter, too. But it's really a thing. 9-to-5preneurs, people who have 9-to-5 jobs, but then are also pursuing multiple entrepreneurship opportunities. It's a real thing. I mean, we're doing it, so it got to be real.
Well,
maybe the name is not real.
The name. That's what I'm talking about. Not that people don't do two things at once, but the name is what I'm referring to as like.
I think we could go. It's Googleable.
Okay, well,
we could Google that.
Okay, so you asked what would we be talking about on the podcast?
Yeah.
So I think we would like to share others. So our biggest thing that we always speak about, we spoke about paying off debt, but we didn't say exactly what happened in that trajectory. So maybe we talk about that, and then we could get into it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
with that,
we paid off $114,000 in 23 months, and $114,000 of debt. In 23 months.
Yep.
And we did that from January 2017 to December 2018, which is, we made that a goal for my 30th birthday. And
I used to put your age out there too.
That's fine.
I'm just saying. I know women don't like that sometimes.
Oh, it doesn't bother me. I look fine. I'm fine. I'm secure with my age being told. So we did that, and we have to do a whole separate episode just based off of how we did that. But just wanted to give that preference because that speaks on what we always say, that you don't necessarily have to do it like us. We just want you to let you know that it's possible.
Yeah.
And so I think that the podcast allows that, to let people know what's possible. Like, obviously paying off that amount of debt is a lot of money in that short amount of time, but maybe you've never even thought about paying off debt, which is how we were at some point. We were like, what, who does that, why?
And the only reason we did that is because we heard other people's stories and talking about it too. So
learning that knowledge,
hearing people on podcasts,
that is literally how we started, hearing podcasts. You're right. So that would be one thing to get out of the podcast, just knowing what's possible, hearing the different things. The goal is to also bring on other people, so you don't just have to hear us talk, which I think we're a good time regardless. But
we can do this by ourselves week in and week out.
Also to bring other people on.
To share other people's stories is tremendous, especially because that's how we discovered other influencers, other entrepreneurs, other people in the space, other African American, other Black people, paying off debt, doing great things. And when you hear these stories, that's how we got our name out there. People started posting us on their pages. People started bringing us on their podcasts, on their platform. So we want to give people that same opportunity that was given to us early on, so that we're able to help others as we go along.
Yeah, so that would be one of the biggest things of the podcast. Then obviously we are married. We are running multiple businesses. We have a lot going on. So just speaking about day-to-day stuff with us as well, we'd want to share. And side hustle and entrepreneurship, just different realms of that and what that looks like.
So when we talk about this hustle, you guys can see exactly why we.
Oh
say
yeah,
it.
we're not just saying it. We've done it. We've done it, and we live it currently.
That's what we're doing. So no, we appreciate you guys listening to this first episode.
Yeah.
Of the Hartzog Hustle podcast. I got an outro right now, but I don't remember it. But
oh my God, are you rapping? Okay, I wasn't sure. Okay.
I got an outro, but I don't remember it. But the end of the day, we just want you guys to hustle, but don't just think about it. Go out there and do something with it.
Okay, join us for our next episode.
All right, guys, peace.
This has been an episode of the Hartzog Hustle podcast. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite listening platform. And follow Anthony and Jhanilka on Instagram at The Hartrimony. That's TheHartrimony. Keep hustling, baby. Keep hustling, baby.
Get that money. Get that money.